Welcome to Business Brief for today, Thursday, the 20th of August, 2026. And now, Nigeria's economic reform program is coming under fresh scrutiny as the federal government presents its latest scorecard on the impact of measures introduced since 2023. Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Tawe Idili, says the reforms generated about 20.4 trillion naira in incremental resources between June 23 and December 2025, with the government also outlining how the additional resources were deployed. The figures come as businesses and households continue to feel the effect of the reforms, while the government maintains that the measures were necessary to strengthen public finances and put the economy on a more stable path. Our reporter, Belema Ikuruku, was at the presentation and brings us a full report.
The federal government says the reform journey is still a work in progress. The Nigeria Reform Scorecard is designed to give a clearer picture of where the country stands, not only in terms of the gains recorded, but also the costs Nigerians have had to bear and the potential economic problems the reforms have helped to prevent.
What we're discussing today runs in 4 parts. The first is a full account of how the resources were raised and spent. The second sets out, in plain terms, 10 ways these reforms have benefited average Nigerians and 10 harms they prevented.
The scorecard provides 25 indicators, covering areas including government revenue, expenditure, economic growth, debt, inflation, and the broader impact of the reforms. The Ministry of Finance says the full report, including the underlying figures and details of how government resources were generated, will be made available to the public.
And this reform is actually about the average Nigerian.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Bagudu, explained the government's position on the reforms and what they expected to achieve.
In addition to all that he said, federal government was deliberate in ensuring that all the claims and obligations by the states and nationals were being paid as much as possible, to the extent that the fiscal condition of the state much better.
Another key area highlighted at the briefing was debt transparency, with the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, explained effort at clearer reporting and accountability in managing public debt.
Terms and conditions are presented to the Federal Executive Council as well as the National Assembly, so it's not just a blanket approval. Approved. The detailed terms and conditions are presented. And as the Minister said, the approvals by the National Assembly in the 2 chambers are plenary, so they are all over in the media. Everybody knows what has happened on that day. So there's full disclosure.
The government says the scorecard is intended to provide a transparent assessment of the reform process and allow Nigerians to track progress using measurable indicators. From Ministry of Finance in Abuja, Belema Ikuruku, Arabian News.
And now the government's latest scorecard therefore puts the focus not only on the resources generated, but on whether those gains can translate into stronger economic activity and tangible improvement for Nigerians. And as the reform program moves further, the bigger test will be how effectively government converts the additional resources and improve fiscal position into investment, infrastructure, jobs, and sustainable economy. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has now directed that liquid funds recovered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, alongside certain unclaimed dividend, be channeled to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, to strengthen financing for the federal government student loan program. The directive was disclosed yesterday by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, while briefing State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The Federal Executive Council also approved the transfer of unclaimed dividend from the Capital Market Trust Fund and Dominant Account Trust Fund to NEL Fund. The government says the move is intended to strengthen the fund's financial capacity as demand for student loan continues to grow. The directive, however, is limited to liquid and on funds recovered by the EFCC assets or recovered funds still subject to legal dispute and not covered by the agreement. The moves comes as NEFOD continue to expand access to the federal government interest-free student loan scheme, with funds currently supporting loan that more than 1.2 million students, according to a report from the briefing. The government says redirecting eligible recoveries and unclaimed funds will provide a more sustainable source of financing for the program and help NEFOD meet its growing obligation to students. Japan is stepping up its support for Nigeria's power sector, with the Japanese government committing 20 billion naira to expand and rehabilitate critical electricity transmission infrastructure in Lagos. The funding provided through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, that's JICA, is targeted at the expansion of the Apapa transmission substation as Nigeria continues effort to improve the reliability and capacity of its electricity network. And now, beyond the immediate infrastructure upgrade, Japan says it will provide technical assistance and policy advisors to Nigeria's Ministry of Power to support sector reforms and improve the development of the electricity industry. JICA is also working with the World Bank on mini-grid development while encouraging Nigeria to pursue a balanced combination of on-grid, off-grid, and mini-grid solutions. And that's Business Brief for today. Many thanks for staying tuned.